funny. That's too funny. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Here we are. It's Friday. Wow, man, I'll tell you what. Whew. I gotta just tell you guys before we jump into anything here, before I even say anything else. I had taken a nap before this live stream, um, and I'm like, okay, I got like 2 hours. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna take a nap. The alarm went off at 7:40, so I've literally been up 20 minutes, and I was like, I woke up. I thought it was morning. I heard the alarm go off. I'm like, why did I have my alarm set? I mean, it was one of those sleeps where you're so out that you wake up and don't know where you are, who you are, what's going on. It was that kind of sleep. So it was awesome, by the way. uh so all right, before we jump into anything here, figure I would share that with you to start out with. Before we jump into anything, I would like to make sure I remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. That no nonsense is going to be expected here, no racism, no nastiness. If you do that, those awesome people lit up with the blue shields are going to boot you out of here. So we're not going to tolerate any of that kind of crap. So I would appreciate it from you guys if somebody comes in and start acting like a jerk, that you don't engage with them. Okay, that you don't that you don't play their game. Let my moderators take care of them, and they will. So I appreciate that ahead of time. So it commonly happens at this age. Oh, I'll tell you what. I laugh because when you're a kid, I want you guys to think back, right? I mean, I'm 60 years old now, so when you're a kid, you hate naps. You're like last thing in the world you want to deal with is a nap, and so you will fight against that 100% of the way. And you don't want to, you won't. I don't want a nap. And as you get older, you go, yeah, nap sounds great. But I had a lack of sleep and rest last night, and today's been rough. Oh yeah, yeah. When you're not getting your sleep, it definitely that happens. You definitely feel it, And I here's what I notice: if I'm pushing it and I'm not getting enough sleep, I'm not. Last night I slept great, so I was just. I think maybe because the sun was out today and it was nice. It was beautiful, guys. Absolutely beautiful. I think that plays into it. But so I was outside and it was gorgeous and just an absolutely wonderful day. It kind of, after the long winter sleep, if you will, um, this week worst sleep ever. Even boot camp was better. Oh no, at boot camp, are you kidding me? I slept like a freaking log. You were so tired that when it was lights out, you were out. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I know I was. I was a 19-year-old kid, and man, I'll tell you what. When it was lights out, I was like, okay, maybe a letter home at that point, quick letter home, and then you'd hit the hay, and you wouldn't wake up until they woke you up. Yeah, that was definitely part of it. So anyway, all right, what do we got? 140 in the chat, guys. We got 42 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate it ahead of time. It really does make a huge, huge difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction, the better it is for the channel. And I thank you for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, I thank you ahead of time for that. All right. So let's get into this. things are heating up, right? Um, we have been bombing the crap out of them, and according to Secretary of State Rubio, you ain't seen nothing yet. Come on, now, you know what? Don't start with me. We're not going out yet. I just started this, so no. Now I say that, but we'll see how long it takes. Um, Naps are a cherished event past age 40. Oh yeah, they're awesome. They oh, don't you start with me. She's gonna win, and she knows she's gonna win, but we got to play the game ahead of time. What do you want? What do you want? You were such a snot. You were sleeping. You were quiet. The minute I go online, this is what we, folks. This is like every time. This is every freaking time. What? You want to go? Do you want to go? She does. Guys, hold on one second. All right, miss. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. All right, off you go. All right, so I need you guys, somebody do me a favor. Set a clock for like 15 minutes and remind me, because the last live stream I did on Wednesday, I let her out about halfway through at about 7:30 or 8:30, and I completely forgot she was outside. Finished the live stream. I stood up. I'm stretching. I look. I go, oh man, hell is still outside. So at like 15-minute mark, guys, somebody about 15 minutes from now, if you would remind me that I need to get my dog back in, I would appreciate it, because I get on a roll. See, that's the problem. I'll get on a roll and I completely forget about the dog. So it happens. Now I got to tell you, I've been watching things, and of course, always pay attention to everything that's going on. First thing I'm noticing is, like, now, I don't know if you guys saw it today, gas prices were up almost $10 a barrel for oil today. That's huge. That's a lot. That's a lot, which will be passed down to us, which means higher gasoline, higher diesel prices. That's coming. That is absolutely coming. How high will this go? Hard to say. So I was reading a couple different articles. Okay, there is a billionaire gas station owner that he said, it will be bad for about a month, and then things will get better. Now, is that true? Who knows? Okay, I mean, who really knows? But and we got to remember, guys. Okay, and this is always something that amazed me. Always something that amazed me. So whatever like event that's going on that they use to make an excuse to jack up gas prices, right? And let's say now this time the gas prices have really jumped. I mean, I mentioned the other day, I was out yesterday. I actually was out again today. I've been out 3 times this week. That's too much. I don't like being out. But so gas prices went from $2.99 as of Sunday of last week to right now they're $3.49 here. That's up 50 cents a gallon here where I'm at. And what I always found is amazing to me, they'll use whatever excuse, the oil refinery's down and needs to be fixed. A hurricane's coming through, so there's damage to the oil refinery, so gas prices will go up that way, right? I mean, whatever excuse that they're using. So they'll jack the prices up quickly, and man, it takes forever for those gas prices to come back down. They'll use this event, guys, as a huge excuse to, first of all, jack up the price of oil. Secondly, they'll use this excuse to keep them up for a while. 80 cents in 1 week here. Wow. Yeah, it's 50 cents here, which is still, that's huge. And that's only in like what, 5 days? That's 5 days. So, but yeah, it's just it's crazy right now. What's going on as far as the prices of oil and gas, and now you also have to remember, okay, with gas prices rising, what else rises, right? Everything when you guys go to the store, whatever you're buying, lumber, furniture, groceries, anything that you're buying has been transported here to whatever location you are at by truck generally. That's how you get it. Unless you got a train station right next to your Walmart, your stuff's coming in by truck, which means with the gas prices and the diesel prices going up, that's going to cost them more. They're passing that on to the consumer, which is you and me, which means everything is going to go bananas. I got to tell you, I got to mention this ahead of time. And I got to tell you what my response was. Okay. I got to tell you what my response was. So somebody in the comments, and a lot of times I don't really talk about what's said in the comments, but this one, I had fun with this one. So this individual says, well, I've been prepping since Y2K and I've never ever dipped into my preps. Everybody is like so high stress, and I'm going verbatim, not verbatim, but I'm just kind of going over. I know the first couple things is what he said, but what it came down to, he was like, basically, why are people getting so stressed out? Nothing's going to happen. Everything's fine, right? That's the gist of what he said. So I replied, and I said, wow. I said, thank you so much. I said, just because you said that, I am selling everything and I'm moving back to the city because of your, because how everything's going to go, basically. I mean, I'll basically being a smart A. Okay. Um, it's just like, really? Really? Just because you individually have never dipped into your preps since 2000, a lot of people, because of different emergencies that have happened throughout this country, that happen throughout this country year after year after year, they have dipped into their preps. I've had people contact me and say, I just wanted to say thank you because this event happened in my location, and because we listened to you and we got prepared, it was a lot easier to deal with that transition. Realistically, folks, that's what prepping is about. Those unforeseen emergencies that you didn't see coming, that you didn't know were coming, that's why we prep. That's that's the main reason why every one of us preps. Loss of job, loss of a loved one, loss of the main breadwinner. Those are things that you don't plan for. They just happen. Okay. So, and right now, with the situation of what is going on, we are at war. We're at war. I mean, that's the bottom line. All right. So those are things that we really need to pay attention to, because that will affect us here on the home front. It's going to affect us. And again, how will it affect us? There could be attacks in the home country. But the one thing that is definite is that prices of everything will increase, which means it's going to hurt. Most people are already at a point where it hurts too much now already, so guys, we got 223 in the chat. We're sitting at 90 thumbs up at the moment. So if you have not shot a thumbs up, I would ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I do appreciate it. It really, really, truly does help with the algorithms. So the more interaction on the channel, the better. That's why I asked for a thumbs up. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, I thank you ahead of time for that. I've dipped into mine. I also rotate my stock, Eric Johnson said. And somebody else, Catwoman said, I've dipped into mine multiple times. Sickness, unexpected. Oops, I missed. Hold on a second. I got to go back up so I can see what she said. Um, Unexpected expense, Helen, etc. And that's exactly it. The main reason why all of us do prep, do a lot of us think that a true SHTF, like end of the world as we know it type of situation will happen? Yes, a lot of us do. But you prep for that, but you also prep for the unforeseen. And again, those unforeseen events are coming. They're going to happen. You know, there's going to be depending on obviously where you live, there's going to be an ice storm. There's going to be a blizzard. There's going to be flooding. There's going to be mudslides. There's going to be earthquakes. Uh, you know, there's going to be forest fires. There's going to be hurricanes. There's going to be tornadoes. Those things like that happen every single year. And again, location, location, location. So wherever you are, and if you are in like, I'm very fortunate here in West Virginia, and even when I was in New York, very little chances of tornadoes. Why? Because we're not flat. Tornadoes want nice level flat ground to do what they're going to do. Yeah, accidents, absolutely. Lamb's light. There's another one. Again, loss of job. You know, unforeseen death of a breadwinner. You didn't expect somebody to. How's my mom doing? My mom's doing great, Super Dave. Thank you very much for asking. She's awesome. She's a trip. She is a trip. So, but anyway, things are going to happen. But and again, the majority of us prepare for a worst case scenario. I showed you I went out again and did an early shop, right, for the group and picked up more things. And, I had people, kind of, well, why did you do that? Number one, like I said, again, food prices are going to rise as a result of what's going on right now with, yeah, remember when you were sick, you couldn't go to the store. Exactly. And there's another one. When you're down and you can't get out because of sickness or whatever the case, or weather events, you know, that's why we prep. Because, I had, what did I didn't go out for almost 2 weeks at one point because I was sick and then the weather was crappy. So, are you guys rotating the accumulated food? At this point, right now, we have not because we haven't needed to. Most of the stuff that we are buying is long-term food storage, like rice, beans, sugar, those type of things. Now, we did pick up, and pasta is another one's the long-term food storage. But we did pick up like pasta sauce. So what we do plan on doing as a group is we're gonna have like, on a Saturday. Oh hell yeah! Thank you guys. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. Let me call her. Come on, baby. I see you. Good girl. Come on, baby. That's right. That's a good girl. Yes. Got your stretch your legs out of the way. Uh-huh. Yes. Yes. Got that out of the way. Okay. All right. She's back in. So, again, we'll probably do like spaghetti night. So we'll use some of our spaghetti. We'll probably use how many years back do you have in stored food preps? Do you have a rotation process for your older food as you continue to add new preps? That's a great question as well. Okay. I actually have. So a lot of the stuff that I have personally for my own self prepped, okay, I've gone with long-term food storage stuff. So what do I mean by that? Like beans, okay? Beans have a 30-year shelf life, guys. So any kind of beans that you have packed away, you're looking at 30 years on those alone. Now, does that mean you have to soak them longer before you use them? Yeah, but so what? Who cares, right? That's the way I look at it. Uh, Pasta is another one that will last a long, long, long time. Like I said, sugar's not going to go bad. Honey never goes bad. So there's another one that's a good one that never, ever, ever goes bad. My older canned goods, yes, I will rotate them. What ends up happening, because I am like a lunatic when it comes to prepping, I will be eating stuff that is 4 and 5 years past the best by date, right? And I'm talking strictly canned stuff there. Does that mean it's gone bad? No, it has not gone bad. It just means that it is, yeah, one mouse can ruin everything. That is true, Lamb's Light, and that's why we as a group have switched our tactics. That was one of the things that we were discussing, and that's why all the preps that we have gotten and Mylar them, and we've been in that process of working on that. If you watched from last get together, right? Uh, we have been Mylaring. We started doing that, and the reason is mice aren't chewing through metal. Okay, they're not. Rats are not chewing through metal. We don't have rats out here, but we do get mice. One of the things, I don't know if I have one in here that I got one in here I can show you. Well, hold on. A couple things I wanted to show you. Like when I went out today, okay, for the group, I picked up a couple of things for the group, and I will explain why in a second, right? So, half-gallon jars, right? Fantastic, awesome prep item. Now, I don't know if you can, you probably can't see. Okay, yeah, right there you can. What's sitting in the center of that jar? You're like, what? Prepper Nurse One, that's rice, but what's in that rice? And what's in that rice, and I picked up some more of this today, and I'll show you. Bay leaves, right? Bay leaves. Why bay leaves? Because if I am like, this is a great way to store rice, first of all, just so you know, in a glass jar. I picked up two, there's 6 in a case. I picked up 2 cases today because that's what they had at Walmart, uh, of the half-gallon jars, right? You put that rice in there, you throw a bay leaf in there, right? Why do you throw a bay leaf in there? Because the critters, the bugs, don't like bay leaves. So you're not going to have an issue. And I'm going to tell you, I couldn't, let's see if I got a date on here. Let's see. All right. So this one is 11/7 of 21. So almost 5 years. 5 years that rice has been in that jar, right? It's fine. No issues with it. Great way, right? Great way to stock up your preps. So rice is a great one. Rice store is fantastic. Okay, so you don't have to vacuum seal rice. You can, okay, and I have, right? But it's a great way to stock up on storage because again, what is are mice getting into through chewing through glass? No, okay. So it's another great way to store stuff so that it's going to be there for you long term. And again, so you get those bay leaves, right? You buy the bay leaves. So, yeah, and weevils and everything else can be mitigated by freezing temperatures. So when people say to me, well, you got all this stuff and it's in an area where it gets really cold, that's a reason for that as well. Because I have stuff that I've had for a long time that I haven't had any issue with. I have stuff. If anybody's been watching this channel for any length of time, if you've been watching for any length of time, you will know that I have stuff packed up from when I was still together with my ex-wife, 2008, 2009. I have my orange buckets. I started out with using Home Depot buckets with the seal lid, and then eventually I went to the white buckets, the food grade buckets with the twist off lids that you can utilize. And I like those because number one, you can pop those off and reuse them again. Number one, but also I can unscrew the top, get exactly what I need out, and reseal it. With the orange buckets with the seal lid, you got a tool that you got to use, and it doesn't really reseal well. So, and I've actually done videos. If you want to go back and look, when I got down here, I I did a video saying, okay, I packed up whatever it was in 2008, 2009, and I said, I'm gonna open this up. Hadn't opened it, and we're going to see how everything's holding up. And back then, I vacuum sealed everything. I did not Mylar things. I just vacuum sealed them, and everything that I did that way, uh, it was all fine. I had no issues with it. Everything was still vacuum sealed. It was still good. But again, a lot of the stuff that I store, like wheat berries, would be another good example, guys. Okay, wheat berries, you're talking about a 30-year shelf life. So where wheat, or I mean, flour, if you're just doing flour, you're looking at 18 months. So again, those are things that are gamma lids. That's what I was thinking of, gamma lids. That's the ones that they snap on, and then it has the screw on top. Those are amazing. So all my newer preps that I have put away, it's all done with gamma lids and the white food grade buckets. So you'll see in my preps, you'll see a mix. You'll see the orange buckets. Those orange buckets are the oldest ones, and I'm going to tell you what. Some of those older buckets might have flour in them, right? Now, that flour ain't no good no more. I have a jar, good size, the gallon jars, that I actually have in Les's building that I had brought down this last time. And a couple of those jars have flour in them, right? That flour ain't no good no more. That's old. I mean, that's old. Okay. So I have made a tremendous amount of mistakes when it comes to prepping, but you learn, right? You learn this is not going to work. This will work. And that's why I started storing wheat berries and then got a hand crank to turn wheat berries into flour. So again, it's a learning process. So I like my bread, not going to lie. All right. So, but you can make crackers with old flour for the chickens. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Oh, there you go. There's something there. But anyway, it's like all of it is a process. You learn what works, you learn what doesn't work. But as far as rotating a lot of the older stuff, I don't, because I have it stocked up. Like beans is another one. Like I said, beans will last 30 years. Okay. So I pack them up, I put them away, and I forget about them, basically. And that's what happens with a lot of stuff. I've been prepping for a long, long time. 2005, I think, is when I got started. So we're talking, I've been prepping for 20 years, almost 21 years now. But again, it's just you have to certain stuff. Okay, like canned goods. Canned goods. All right, let's talk canned goods for a minute. I do prep what I eat. That's important. What I like, I prep. Peaches, pears, fruit cocktail, those type of things. Uh, you know, SpaghettiOs with meatballs. I love those. Raviolis. I like those. So I do prep those things. Bean and bacon soup, split pea and ham, chicken noodle, tomato soup, all those type of things. Cream of mushroom if I'm going to make like a casserole using rice and chicken. Those are the things that I absolutely utilize, in my preps. So those things get used not as quickly, as the Best Buy date, but it doesn't mean, like I said, it goes bad. So that's just that part of it. Guys, we got 277 in the chat. We're at 149 on the thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. It really does make a big, big difference with the algorithm. So the more interaction, the better. And so I do appreciate that. And it just pushes us up higher up in the rankings. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. Wait, did Dave get here? Dave's coming in today. Hold on, here, back here, go. I'm gonna look real quick and see if he's here. Hey, go. Oh yeah, he's here. All right. Yeah, the Cheech and Chong saying Dave's not here. Dave's here. Dave's not here. Come on, man, open the door. It's Dave. He said he's backing actually down in. It's actually dry enough. We've had because his big thing was he wanted to try to get down here with enough time to unload the truck so that way he can bring the truck back up, because we do have rain in the forecast. But last couple days, I mean, it's really dried out a lot in the last several days because it's been gorgeous. It's absolutely been gorgeous. So, there's that. So, but anyway, but let's go back. I want to get back and talking about the Middle East. Now, couple quick questions, right? Boots on the ground. Let's talk about boots on the ground. Will we put boots on the ground in Iran? It would not shock me. Would not shock me if we put boots on the ground. We got a lot of troops in the area. I know what I was gonna. Let me finish this point, and I'll go back and I'll tell you something else that I saw. And I laughed at this one because it was like, really? El Vaughn says we already have them there. Not in Iran though. We have. Yeah. Now that one, somebody says yes. Special forces are there. That one would not shock me if we had, some people behind the scenes, special forces, CIA type of assets operating and doing things behind the scenes that people don't know. But when I'm saying boots on the ground, a lot of times what I'm talking about is Marines, Army, those guys going in. Do I think that we will do that? It would not shock me if we have objectives that we need to make sure, that we have the things that we need to do in there. I would not be surprised if we did end up putting some boots on the ground. Not long term, hopefully, I say that, but I would not be surprised. That would not surprise me at all. So, regular troops, yes, yeah. So, in the region, we do have a lot of troops in the region. Watch troop movements, guys. Right? If all of a sudden you're seeing a buildup of troop movements into the region, again, if you remember, just before we attacked Iran, I mean, I did the live stream on the Friday night, and I had said we did not put all those assets into the region for no reason. We were definitely, I said, I didn't know when. And actually, if you remember when I did that live stream, I said, it would not shock me if we didn't attack them over the weekend. Then and then boom, 5 hours later, we're attacking them. So, not that I have any kind of special insight. I don't, but I just pay attention to those type of things. And, I watch things, and there's a reason that we do what we do. It's just like if you look at, I learned from you, Ed, I have wheat berries and a grinder. I got the grinder for a couple of different things. Yeah, they're a very good asset to have. A hand grinder, when there's no power, and the hand grinder is done by human power, that's what it's about. That's what you need. So, really, really important to have. And I got mine from the Amish store for like 50 bucks. And it's how long have I had my grinder? At least 5 years, 5, 6 years. I got them. Yeah, it's a good workout too. Yeah, no kidding, Wishika. I got mine, like so when I was still in New York, and so it's a great thing to have. The here, No U.S. boots on the ground. Iraqis watch. Well, I wouldn't shock me if we do something that way. Weird. So I was going to mention something else, which I thought was kind of ironic. I saw a thing today that said Israel is losing the war with Iran. And I'm thinking, what are you watching? Right? Are you not paying attention? We are decimating their capability. Uh, let's throw a couple things out here, okay? We've destroyed their navy. We have destroyed their air force. Those two things you cannot dispute. You cannot dispute those two things. We own the skies. The U.S. and Israel own the skies over Iran, right? No question, not debatable. That's ours, right? Uh, we even sunk a ship using a submarine, that they had out there. Well, I think the ship was in the Indian Ocean, I believe. So, but I saw a video how Iran has been prepared for this war for years. Yeah, Carolina, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. I remember you showing your grinder when you got them. That wasn't a swap meet, JJ. I got it from an Amish store. I got that hand grinder for the wheat at the Amish store. But again, every single day since this thing started, we have been bombing the crap out of them, and we're going after the hierarchy. We are going after the. I want you to think about this, okay, and kind of to be able to put it in perspective. What we've done in Iran is almost like somebody coming here, killing the president, the vice president, a bunch of people in the Senate, a bunch of people in the House of Representatives, and taking them all out, taking out the heads of our military at the same time. Okay, that's in the first wave. That's what they did. They killed Khomeini and 40 of the top officials with that initial strike, right? And then when they were meeting to decide who's going to be the new supreme leader, the Israelis got them again as well. So, we're not talking about, that the command structure it's almost like, oh no, you Joe, you're going to be in charge. I really don't want to be in charge because Joe don't want to get killed. So not only did we take out all of that, and then we're going after the military sites, their capability to launch drones and missiles. We're going now. Are they still doing it? Yes, they are, because you can't get them all at once. Okay, but we're definitely going after them. And have some Iranian missiles got through and done damage? Of course, it's war. You're not going to get them all. You're not going to get them all. But don't let AI confuse you. What you see and hear about what's going on abroad, way too many AI videos causing confusion about everyday events. Well, they were talking about that they sunk the Gerald Ford. Remember that? I haven't seen any confirmation from our side. That what they said was there was missiles shot at the Gerald Ford, and we shot those missiles down. What people don't understand, the technology that we have on those ships, on those aircraft carriers, and the support ships around the aircraft carriers, you're not going to get a clear shot and just start blowing up our aircraft carriers. It's not going to happen. Now, a sustained attack and like World War II, when you had a fighter group come in and go after a ship. They don't have that capability. They have the capability of shooting missiles, but again, how accurate is it going to be? What's going to be the result of those type of things? Um, you know, it's we're in a situation right now where we're like, if you guys remember, um, before we went into Iraq, right? Before we put boots on the ground in Iraq, we did like 40 days straight of bombing. We destroyed everything, everything ahead of time, right? And then we went in. And when you beat down an enemy like that psychologically, there's not, that will to fight just is not there. So, again, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out moving forward. Will it be done in 4 to 5 weeks? I highly doubt it. I'm going to give you my opinion. That's strictly my opinion. I highly doubt that it will be done in 4 to 5 weeks. I don't believe that it will be. It's going to take some time. Are we reaching our objectives? Are more drones and missiles getting out than we thought? Probably. But when you have an enemy that is being attacked, they're going to throw everything at you except for the kitchen sink. You know what I mean? And they might throw that too. But again, nobody can match us, guys. And I don't care. You're talking Russia, Iran, Israel, or not Israel. I'm sorry, they're an ally. Russia, Iran, China, any of those countries that don't necessarily like us. Okay, they can't match us. What I think what people don't understand realistically, if you ever looked at the numbers, okay, we spend more on our military and our military assets. I think it's than the next 8 or 10 countries combined. Combined. That's Russia, China. I mean, and China has amped up what they're doing, obviously, but you know, we spend way more than anything else. There's something I wanted to mention really quickly, guys, and please tell me I'm wrong on this one. All right. So we're going after Iran because of the regime and blah 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 blah, right? We went after Venezuela because of the regime and blah 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 blah. But what's the bigger picture? What's the bigger picture? I'm going to share with you what my opinion of what the bigger picture is. 70, I think it was 70% of Venezuelan oil, right, that was sanctioned. They couldn't sell it regularly. 70% of their oil from Venezuela before we went in and took out Maduro was going to China, right? 70% was going to China. It's not anymore, right? Iran. You have, I think that China buys 80% of Iranian oil right now at a discounted price again because they have all the sanctions on them. So right now they were buying that oil at again reduced prices, right? So you think, wow, that's pretty interesting. We cut off the Venezuelan oil, we cut off the Iranian oil that was going to fuel China's war machine, right? Look at that. That's the bigger picture, folks. We're cutting out the legs out of China before China ever does anything, before China ever gets to that point where they think that they're big enough and they're bad enough and they're strong enough to go after the United States of America. We've just cut off two of their assets of oil in the world. Now, I want you to think about that. Now, so right now, China's buying a majority of their oil now, and they were still buying oil from Russia, right? They were buying oil from Russia. So those are things that people don't talk about that. They don't think about that because again, it's just, why? Why would you talk about that? But at the end of the day, there's always a bigger picture of why we're doing what we're doing. All right. Where's that Venezuelan oil going to now, guys? Let's think about this, right? Where's that Venezuelan oil going now? It's going to us. That Venezuelan oil is coming to us, right? We cut off their access to Iranian oil. Where's that oil going to go to? So those are things you really got to pay attention to. All right, really quickly again, we are at 200 thumbs up. Let's see if we can hit 250 before we jump off here. So that'd be right now we're 201, so it's 49 away. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet for the channel, again, I do appreciate that ahead of time. We got 304 people in the chat, and yeah, we need to. Yes, I will mention that in a second too. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. It really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction, the better for the channel. So again, I do appreciate it for that reason. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that thumbs up to get all notifications as well. And again, I do appreciate it. You got the bell icon. You got to hit that, and then you hit all, because that'll put it limited. So somebody made a comment here, which I think is very pertinent. Oh, so we're going to do egg count here in just a second, but let me mention this real quick. Said we need to replenish our strategic oil reserve, and I agree 100%. 100%. If you remember, in the last administration, Biden hit our oil strategic reserve to keep gas prices lower, because of their whole nonsense of, the green bull crap that they were feeding us. So again, we need to get that stocked up to where the levels where it was, because it has been definitely brought down. And that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing. All right. So let's go ahead and do egg count. So how many eggs today? Yes or no for Miss Betty White, my only chicken that lays a white egg. And how many of the Easter eggers laid today? So I have 3 Easter eggers. So I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses in, and we will go from there. So I'll just give you guys a moment. And in the meantime, if you would keep those thumbs up coming, I would appreciate it. We're at 225. So I'd like to get at least to 250, because why not? Because it's fun to see how high we can get it to go up. So I'll give you guys another moment here to get your guesses in, and then I will tell you if anybody got it right today. Beautiful, gorgeous day down. See, I'm wearing a muscle shirt because you know why, folks? When the sun comes out, the guns come out. That's what happens. No, but it was absolutely fantastic down here today. I really liked it. I really liked it. So, all right. If you had the same exact guest as Dale from Ohio, 8 eggs today, which is awesome. Happy to see that. Yes for Miss Betty White, and 2 Easter eggers laid today, then you are 100% correct. So it was 8 yes and 2. And Dale from Ohio was the one to get the right guess. So congratulations, Dale. You have won absolutely nothing, but you are happy about it. So there we go. So, but yeah, I was happy to see 8 eggs. Yesterday, I ended up with 10 eggs yesterday. So, but hey Ed, any question for you? Do you have any tips for income living off grid? Well, somebody else, Lamb's Lights, asking, are your fruit trees going to produce this year? Let's hope so. That would be great. Yeah, bragging rights. There you go. Income for tips of living off grid. You got to find your niche of where, what works for you as far as income. If you have like an online job, that's probably the best way to do it, because that way you don't have to leave if you don't want to. There's a lot of options out there depending on your location, where you're at, how far out you are. You know what I mean? So Those are things that you got to, when it comes to trying to get income, uh, getting income from living off grid. So, if you are producing like eggs, for example, if you have, let's say, 100 or, so chickens, you're getting a lot of eggs. You're not going to utilize. I'm telling you, when these guys get going and I'm getting 10, 11, 12 eggs a day, I can't use 11, 12 eggs a day. So what I end up doing is I end up either, like, the dogs get more when they start laying more. Like, I'll give you an example. Like today, okay? So Collie and the puppies, they're getting 3 eggs a day. I've been doing that ever since she had the puppies. Now we're down to Collie, Tank, and one female puppy, and the female puppy is going to be going after next week. So Zeus gets an egg every day. Both of the boys get an egg every day. I'll give Hella an egg. So, as the chickens are laying more, I will, give more eggs to the dogs. So right there's 7 eggs right there. So again, I have available to me right now 4 dozen eggs. So if it stays in that range, like I may have a day where I'm not going to get a lot of eggs, and I'll have another day where I get a ton of eggs. So it varies as far as that goes. But again, Ed, did you see they launched a Minuteman missile out of Vanderbilt Air Force Base yesterday? Test only. I had not seen that, JJ. I had not seen that. But again, so there's another way that you can make income selling eggs. And for me, if I was going to sell eggs, I just wanted to pay for my feed. That's all I would want it to do. But again, I don't. I have 14 chickens, 14 hens, and a rooster. So I don't have a huge flock. I get more than enough eggs for my needs. Like if there's a day that I'm not going to get a lot of eggs, then maybe the dogs don't get as many. That's just all part of it too. But yeah, that's all part of it. But anyway, so yeah, so we're at 233 on the thumbs up, guys. We need, or now we just hit 34. We need 16 more. 16 more thumbs up to hit 250. So again, if you have not done so yet, please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I do appreciate it. And it really does make a big, big difference, like I said, again, with the algorithms and everything as well. So thank you for that. Farm eggs sell for $4 a dozen, Morning Light saying. Yeah, well, there, like I said, there's a really nice passive income for you, in season. Like I said, they're going to slow down in the wintertime no matter what. I mean, I had days this winter where I got 2 and maybe 3 eggs in a day. That really makes a big difference of what you can do with what you have. And again, I rotate with the eggs. The oldest ones I use first, the newest ones, those are the ones that get used last. So that's an important part of it as well. But they cost roughly 30 cents each to produce. Here's the difference, though, Elvon, and for me personally, once you've had farm fresh eggs, right? It doesn't come out of a egg or out of like Walmart or Wegmans or any super grocery store, Kroger's, whatever. Those eggs, those white eggs that you're buying, it's a different taste. When you have fresh farm eggs, the taste is different. The yolks are whiter or more yellow. It's just they're a healthier bird that's not in an egg laying factory, if you will. So that makes a big to me. It makes a big difference. So I I after eating eggs and occasionally, I'll if I go out like to a restaurant and have eggs, it doesn't taste the same. The taste is definitely different. So that makes a big difference when it comes to your chickens, excuse me, as well. So I would never, as long as I can have chickens, I'm going to have them. I'm going to collect those eggs and I'm going to enjoy those awesome eggs. How old are my chickens? Well, so I added 9. I had 6 hens. Okay. Right. Was it 6? No, I had 5. I'm sorry. I had 5 hens. Those hens are probably 2 years old now. Last year, I added 9 more hens last year. So we went from like 5 hens. Now I have 14 hens down here. So now I probably won't add any hens this year. Okay. Next year, I definitely will. I will definitely add hens next year because you want to keep those younger hens and keep that rotation. Your younger hens are going to lay more. Once they start laying, they're going to lay more. Where your older hens, they're going to slow down. Like the chickens in New York, Heather hardly gets any eggs anymore from the chickens that are. I think she's down to 6 or 7 chickens in New York. No more roosters. She doesn't have any roosters left. And they've been dying off because they're older hens. So, but again, she just takes care of them, and she when once Becky moves there full time, Becky will be adding more hens. And taking care of the chickens at that point. Heather really don't care about the chickens. That she doesn't have that she wants to do that. So, but just don't need more roosters really. Like I said, I could possibly add one more rooster right now with my flock that I have. But when you do that, what ends up happening is you're going to have fighting with the roosters. So one rooster is going to be the boss and be the bully and beat the crap out of the other rooster. Like if you guys remember the roosters that I had in New York, I had Foghorn Leghorn, right? My white rooster. And what? Excuse me, I'm almost done. Yes, I know. You got to get down. Um, and then I had my other rooster who was like the boss, and he was the boss for years. And then he got old. And then Foghorn Leghorn ended up beating him up, after he had gotten beat up for years. And then, that was it. That was like the downhill slide of that rooster. So it happens. It absolutely happens. What? Stop. No, you're not going back out. No, stop. Um, so, but again, it's like, you got to keep. Well, yeah, I got Mr. Lucky here. Exactly. And everybody knows, and anybody that's paid attention to how, hey, no. Anybody that's paid attention knows the story of Mr. Lucky and how he came up. That's how I started having chickens down here because I wasn't ready to have chickens down here, but it kind of happened, quickly. And I'm glad. I have my chickens. I do. That's definitely a good thing. Goliath, yes, that was the one up in New York. He was a big rooster. He was awesome. He was an awesome rooster. And then he got old, unfortunately. Yep. So you had Goliath, and then you had Foghorn Leghorn. And I remember when I got Goliath in those initial hens, and so I had to go and pick them up from where they were at. And if you guys, I don't know if you guys remember the story. I had a cat carrier. That's what I had, cat carrier. So I could only take like 3 or 4 chickens at a time. Um, and so what I did, I went into that, and I literally, guys, I had on long johns, a flannel, I had gloves on. I had, my head covered, so that I wasn't sure if Goliath was going to be an aggressive rooster. He ended up not. He was not an aggressive rooster. He was a really cool rooster. Um, so I went in there and I started grabbing hens and putting them in this cat carrier. And, he was fussing. And I think he was on my second trip. I took like 3 or 4 hens the first time, took them back to my place, put them in the chicken mansion, if you guys remember, put them in there. And then on my second trip, I'm like, all right, because he was fussing. I said, he's going. And I just like walked up and I just grabbed him, picked him up and put him in that cat carrier. And he was pretty chill. I was very, very fortunate with him. He was pretty chill chicken. So what is your take on raising geese and ducks, if I may ask? I know geese are great security systems as well. They are, but geese and ducks crap everywhere, everywhere. The duck eggs are more rich than chicken eggs, but I don't want to deal with that mess. That's me. I don't want to deal with that mess. So I like chickens better. So, but again, to each their own. Geese are great. Again, like you said, they're good security as well. Guinea hens. You want security? Get guinea hens. They will let you know if there's anything coming around. So those are things as well. So all right, guys, I am going to leave you. We at 2:55, so we hit the 250 mark on the thumbs up, which is awesome. So I appreciate that. I'm going to leave you with my favorite saying, STD, right? If you set realistic goals and then set about to making them happen following the STD mantra, one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. If you follow that and work methodically towards reaching your goal, you will reach your goal. The only one that's going to stop you from reaching that goal is going to be you. That's it, nobody else. So stay away from negative people that tell you what you can accomplish, because again, if you're setting realistic goals, you can accomplish them. They may not happen in the time frame that you wish they would. Nothing ever happens in the time frame that you wish that it would. But if you work at it, you check it off the list. And here's the best part. And I've done it, like here, even in New York. People told me, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that." And my response was always the same, folks. Watch me. Because once you accomplish that realistic goal, what can they say then? They can't say anything because you did it, right? That's the reality. So again, surround yourself with people that lift you up, not drag you down. I hope you guys have a great night. And again, just keep working at things, keep prepping, keep taking care of your business, and you guys are going to be just fine. All right. Again, the biggest thing is control what you can control. That's what it comes down to. We have no say so in this war that's going on right now, not anything we can do about it. But what we can control is how we prepare for how bad things may get. So remember that. Have a great night, guys. I will be live streaming on Sunday at 8 o'clock. So I look forward to seeing you all then. I hope you guys are safe and have a great weekend. I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse One out for now.